Hey guys, Adian here, and today we're going to be doing, I think it's the 7-week garden update, 7 or 8 or something like that. It's been a month and a half, almost 2 months since we planted everything in here, and we're going to just do a quick update and maybe a small harvest, but today we're mostly going to be working on the tomatoes. I know we've been working on them a lot, and every time we work on them they get even bigger and they just have more problems that we have to deal with. So before we start, I went on the roof. Passion fruits, they're flowering a lot, but I didn't see that many actual fruits, and the ones that I did see, they were getting all sunburned and turning like flat. So I don't know what the roof harvest is gonna look like, but down here it's just crazy. Like, I mean, every time I show this, there's so many fruits, and they're all coming down closer, which that's good because they'll be easier and safer to harvest. The grape down here, it is really starting to take on this fence. I put this fence in here quite a while back, and it didn't really do much, and then I guess it's like, hey, there's a fence here, and now it's just going crazy. It is going to get over here, and it's probably going to be there within the next week, so we're going to need to build something over here. I'm starting to plan some ideas for it. I want it to be a circular arc, but we might actually have to make it a square one, just because I don't know how to do that. But whatever we do, it's going to look nice because it's going to be covered with the grapevine. Look at that. So many grapes back there. It won't even focus. But yeah, the passion fruit, or the pomegranate flower, I don't know what happened to it. I don't see a pomegranate, but since this thing is flowering, that means we are going to actually get some fruits off it, and pomegranate fruits are pretty good. I don't know if it'll be the big one though. I really like that big variety, but it might not be, and we're gonna still have to do something. Leo busted through here, but look at all these grapes. I had no idea they were back here, and they are starting to turn blue, which is that color when they're ready for winemaking. All right, let's take a look at the syntropic farm. This banana hasn't had much growth. Just leaves are getting a little bit larger, but that one died off. This one, on the other hand, look at that. That trunk is getting huge. It's got like 6 leaves. We got it with 2, and it's just shooting up. Like, honestly, it's gonna beat the mango. It's gonna be taller than the mango and not long. This guy right here, Coffee, he's actually doing okay. We're still getting the yellowing up here, which, I mean, I just know it's sunburning, and it's got enough humidity, I think, for now, but we just really need to get it some iron. I know I keep saying that. Mango right here, this guy is actually starting to grow leaves, and it's starting to get some really good growth. The fruits none have fallen off yet, which is kind of crazy because I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're seriously starting to get, oh shoot, well, that's great. New leaves at the top, new leaves down there on the side, that's down there at the bottom even, that's good. Just shows that this thing is totally alive and also starting to progress upward. The best I have seen is on this jabuticaba. Like, it just started to make some red leaves. They turned orange, yellow, and now they're almost green, and they're everywhere. And this thing, like, when I looked it up, it was a slow-growing tree is what they said, but really, it's starting to make so many new leaves, and, you know, probably won't fruit while I live here, but it'll be doing some good things. Coffee right here is actually also doing, well, I don't really know much about this, so I don't know if it's doing well or not, but to me, it looks like it's okay, because we are getting some new leaves, but they are curling in, so whoa, down here too, a bunch of new leaves actually off of this one stalk right here. And all these things that I said were flowers, they're not flowers, of course. They're just more leaves coming out. So this thing is very much alive and progressing. It's probably the biggest plant that we've gotten in here, and it was a great price. Logan, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's doing too well, actually. The leaves are like, they're like dull, and they kind of look like they're really dirty and just not too much life, like they need to be washed up. But it is growing the fruits, so yeah, we just watered it. I think it was not getting enough water. Let's go on the other side over here. Like, man, it's not looking too great. I don't know, I think this one might die, and I'm not too worried about it because, like, we already got the other guy over there, and I think it's probably too small to grow. Right here will be our pineapple or guava. On the inside, I'm growing one. And the grapes, this guy is actually doing pretty good. Grapes are progressing in size. They're not shriveled anymore, and it's starting to branch out. It's starting to grow. The first week, didn't do anything. It's usually what happens. Usually it dies and then comes back like 2 years later. But I'm hoping that this thing starts to kick off really once it gets down to that soil and starts using it up. It's gonna grow all over this entire fence because I want edible grapes, not just wine grapes. Right here, you'll see another video. I got some stuff down there. Yeah, let's go check out the garden. Look at this. It's insane. Here's the banana. I put bags over to collect the nectar. You'll see that in another video, and it kind of killed the baby ones at the bottom here, which is okay, but not really. We're gonna get some at the bottom there, but we got enough on the top, so it's okay. They'll be small anyways. Yeah, this kale is just insane. It's getting wrecked by white butterfly caterpillars, but honestly, I don't eat kale that much. I think we might make some kale chips out of it though, but usually I give it to the chicken. But yeah, these herbs are starting to flower, which means they're at the end of their season. The dill right here is flowering. This is flowering, the cilantro. I could have not let it, but I did let it because I think I would rather get a whole another year of this. So what we're gonna do is take the seeds and plant them in the shade there. Lemongrass going crazy, and these green onions, they're really big too. They're ready for use. I'm just gonna let them grow big because I like to let things grow crazy here. And look at the parsley, like it's shaded. That's why it's doing so well. Basil is starting to curl in. That's why I'm growing some inside the house. And we haven't paid a lot of attention to the peppers. In fact, pretty much none because of all these big crops out here. But if you look at it, like look, they're literally drowning in peppers. There's just so many. This is off the rainbow. They're kind of yellow. They're not like green at all. They're a weird color. But apparently they're gonna turn red or orange or yellow or other things. And then our chocolates right here, they're crazy. There's just so many of them. And these are the ones we didn't prune. The ones that we did prune are not making. So yeah, I pruned this one. It's making flowers. I haven't looked at it much, but since we pruned it, I guess it decided to stop growing up and just grow out, which, I mean, the leaves are great, but we aren't getting a lot of stuff on it. This guy is a lot better. This is a well-rounded plant right here, but it hasn't started to fruit yet. It's just making the flowers. This guy we pruned a little bit, and this is, like, these are some weird shaped bell peppers. They look spicy, but they're really not. And then right here, of course, like seriously, give eggplants more space. They're crazy. Like, look at this thing. It's huge. It's like the stalk right here. This thing is as big as like tomato, like the base of one of those giant 5-foot tomatoes over there. But it's flowering, so we're gonna get some eggplants soon. And then we have the squash patch and the zucchini patch, and we're gonna try and do a big harvest today on them all. I think my dad came in here and got some, but there's, like, look, there's always more little guys growing out. They're kind of shrivelly. What's going on? I don't know if the squash looks done. Like, it looks like it's done. So we're gonna get these remaining ones. There's a bunch of zucchinis too. And then, of course, our watermelon right here. Oh shoot, it looks like it's getting close to done. That thing is gonna be really heavy. I wanna buy a scale just so I can weigh it. But I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna let it keep growing, but there are a bunch of zucchinis on the other side over there, and we're gonna try to figure out how to harvest these. I don't even know where some of them are. All right, my phone is overheating, so I don't know if we're actually gonna get any footage of this. So yeah, let me see how I can figure out how to get these. Most of the leaves you see, this is from the pumpkin, which hasn't even made any pumpkins that don't look like they're rotten yet. So, oh yeah, we got a big squash right here. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Put them down there. Looks like we got 2 more next to our watermelon. Yeah, there we go. This is a normal size right here. This is the normal size yellow zucchini you want to get, or a little bit smaller. Let's see this one. Here we go. This is a good size too. Yeah, that'll be great. You can. It's like watery. Such a weird sound. Let me see. Is there any more? You know, these things hide. Good thing they're yellow. Yeah, I don't see any more of those there. Seriously, these things are huge. Alright, I took a look at this thing, you know, it's turning yellow, so I think it's time to harvest. We're just gonna take this guy out here. It's too big anyways. Alright, time to somehow get in here. Oh man, I bet I'm crushing leaves like crazy. there's just water dripping out of this. Okay, let's see if we can rip it out. Ooh, dang. This is like catching a giant fish. Yeah, you can see it down there. It is starting to get yellow, and you don't want that yellow. But, oh man, you gotta see this. This thing is huge. It feels like it's like 10, 15 pounds, something crazy. Yeah, you see those squash down there? Look at this thing. It's huge compared to them. Like, these guys are already way bigger than they're supposed to be. You take a look at this thing, and it's just massive. Like, it looks like a cucumber that just got way too big. But we will hopefully get some even larger crops than this, especially those Armenian cucumbers, which are already growing pretty large, and the pumpkins. I'm hoping they'll get pretty big. All right, so we got a problem. I don't know how, like, I found some more. We're like underneath the tomatoes right now. You see that one out there? It is way out there. It's a bit small. I think we're gonna have to go around though. This is crazy. There's another one on the other side growing too. So, okay. Time to go in. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Alright, I think I see, oh yeah, here we go. That's easy. Okay, so this is how big you're supposed to let them get. It's already pretty good size. The store you'll see it much smaller, but you can let them get this big and it's fine. I'm gonna try and get, where's the other one? Yeah, he's pretty big. You know what? We'll let that one grow. We'll let another one get super huge. Let me see. Oh, there's even some in there. Not quite ready yet. But yeah, let's go take a look and compare them. All right. Here's the normal guy. Yeah, here's the big guy. Look at that. It's insane. Oh, my bad, shadow. But look at how crazy the difference is. Like, in the store, you'll get those tiny little ones, even smaller, actually, in the store. And you could be getting this much by growing it yourself. I don't know, maybe the taste is different, but honestly, I like having them with seeds. So we're going to chop this thing up, and we'll probably make some tempura. I'll get you a video of that. Squash and zucchini tempura. I'll make that as the next video. Anyways, let's take a look at all the other craziness going on here. Let me see if I can find you a little baby pumpkin. Whoa, right. Somewhere, yeah, okay, so we're getting, this is what's happening. The pumpkins are growing and they're rotting. It's like an onion right there. But yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen with this guy. I think maybe it needs more fertilizer or something, but it's growing like crazy. The leaves are doing super well, but it's just not producing very well. I don't know about those though. I kind of just grew it because I was like, might as well put a pumpkin in here, and it was not the best idea I've ever had. So yeah, let's take a look at the tomatoes and the cucumbers. Ever since I fertilized, this thing's just been skyrocketing, and it has finally made it up here. You could see just how fast it's been growing. Honestly, it was not here when I watered it this morning. It was down here, and it's already up here. And some people would probably be like, that's insane, but you know, I'm used to plants growing that fast. So yeah, oh, look at this. Got a tiny little baby watermelon on there, right there. That thing is so small. I hope that doesn't grow. I want them to grow up here, because if it grows on there, it's gonna pull the whole thing down. Cucumbers are also growing a little bit too much, and they are trying to grow up onto there. Let's take a look. So you can see the Armenians are dominating, but not completely. We still got some on the Longfellows right here, but yeah, really, try not to grow these two together, or Armenians and literally any other kind, because they're just crazy. It's already reaching up to here. I put this PVC pipe because it already got to the top of the wigwam and it's reaching for the fence. So I put this here. It knows it's here, I guess. It'll just grab it and grow on the fence. I don't even know what's gonna happen when it gets up there. But yeah, these things are pretty big. You can take a look. You can see we already got one of them right here. And apparently these things get bigger like than those zucchinis right there. Like, I've seen Cody's Lab harvests and they're just massive. So, you know, we're gonna try and get them growing pretty big. The reason I picked that though was just because I saw it was turning like yellow on the side, and You don't want it to be yellow. That means it's gonna start to rot. I don't know if there's anything ripe here. Looks like we got down here, we got one pickling. The thing is with the pickling, oh shoot. Oh man, I didn't even see that. Not that. This. Wow. This thing is crazy. This is like 10 ounces. No, it's probably not that heavy. This is gigantic. I didn't even see this. This is just like a massive cucumber that was right here. You could literally like search for cucumbers for hours and find them. This morning, I spotted a ton. Like, okay, see these? These are the ones you buy in the store. They're not ripe yet, but these are like those kind of Persian, like snaky-ish cucumbers. And we are getting like a bunch right here. I didn't even know I was growing this variety. I just bought like every cucumber there and put them down. So far, we have seen snakes, like the Japanese kind of snakes, Persians, these long Persians, and Armenians. So I guess that's what we're dealing with. This thing is so overripe, it's crazy. I'm gonna check around and see if we got anything on the back. Oh yeah, also one thing that I noticed, we're getting crazy pests, like insane. That's not even the worst. If you take a look at the leaves under here, all over the place, just on the back here, pretty sure these are aphids, and doesn't look like they're eating too much, but I don't know what they're doing. Actually, I don't even know what aphids do, but they're just covering all these, and it's not looking good. So we're gonna spray some soapy water just all over them, and hopefully that'll clear it up without harming the plant. All right, so yeah, they got to be 5 feet tall pretty easily, and it looks like they're doing pretty well overall, but they're actually not doing, there's some problems going on, and we're gonna work on them today. Tomatoes, they actually are a lot of work, mainly because they grow really big and you have to deal with that, but also like they take a decent amount of fertilizer and pruning, and there are some pests going around and stuff. But the main problems I'm facing are we're getting some like yellow leaves and rotting leaves on the bottom of here. And what I think that is, well, I looked it up first. And basically what it is, oh, we finally got some tomatoes on the yellow right here. That's okay, that's some good news. It needs some more fertilizer. So like I gave them a bunch of stuff, like some fast growing stuff, and I gave them these trellises, and they grew really fast, really quickly, like crazy. I don't even know how it happened. And I guess I think it's just catching up with them, like how much fertilizer they took out of the soil. And also I looked up this, this just happens to tomatoes. Eventually they get old and die, but not this early. This happened to me last year, but not this early. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some, the most rotted old fertilizer I can find, which I think we actually have a bag of steer down there underneath those leaves. And also we're gonna put some chicken and quail poop. And then another thing, I forgot to buy more trellises this year. And so we just got these really bad wire ones. These ones right here, these are actually really nice. Those are the new ones that I bought, but all the ones on the back here, which they started to grow really fast as soon as they got to the top, they're like falling over. Like this thing is supposed to be up here. So what we're gonna do about that today, especially since they're just getting so tall, like they already outgrown the trellises, we're actually gonna finally box this thing in. We boxed all these in, and these are just getting so tall, I think we're just gonna have to box it in. I don't know how we're actually gonna harvest them, but shoot, I just realized that. I think we're just gonna go around, and we'll still be able to fit in there. So right now I got my neighbor across the street, he's helping me out. He's got a bunch of rebar, and we're gonna build a little cage to go around them and then wrap it with string. But just an update on their growth on the fruits, like seriously, we're getting so many just growing. We haven't had a single red one yet. Nothing is ripe yet, no color. All of them are just green. The stripey right here is just absolutely loaded. The beefsteak started to make some beefsteak tomatoes. The yellow right here started to make some finally. And then down here, actually, these are starting to turn yellow on our bell tomatoes. And this thing has not grown up. It really hasn't grown up at all. But it's you can tell that there's actually a bunch of just so much growth on all the tomatoes on the side. I don't really know. See, this guy right here, this is just one. This is just a cherry, and he is really growing like out of his cage. You gotta work with these guys, you know, you gotta do a lot of work to try to keep them in there. But they are, oops, we lost a currant. Making a bit of currant golden cherries. None of them have changed color yet though. On the back here, we got this tomato. It's experiencing a totally different issue. Basically, it's rotting up at the bottom. I cleared it out a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's just, there's a lack of airflow, and like you could see, it's just dead leaves. The top part of it is doing really well. The leaves are just extremely dense. Look at that crazy cat face we got right there. That's, oh my goodness, that is insane. It just feels so weird. But yeah, overall doing pretty well, but I think we're gonna have to prune that and trim it out. Down here also, like, yeah, I've probably shown this 1,000 times. This grape tomatoes, they just grow crazy. This grape also has the yellowing on the edges of the leaf. This is a bit different. It's not the whole leaf's yellow and it rots. This looks like an iron or nitrogen deficiency, which is, I'm pretty sure that's what they all are, which is why we're giving them some of this stuff. This one is starting to turn yellow though, and it's working its way up. So, you know, I really hope it's not early blight or anything, but it might be. So we're just gonna try to fertilize them up. This grape though, look at how many, like, look at all these flowers. It's growing more flowers than leaves. I don't know how it's gonna compete with that. It's crazy. So we're really gonna get a good harvest of this. All right, this stuff is disgusting. It's literally cow poop. Like, it was so rotted, worms in it, and the grossest thing you can think of. Mix it up with a ton of topsoil in the chicken cage there, and that is gonna be so good for plants. So we're gonna apply it only to the tomatoes with the yellowing, because, you know, I don't know, this is strong, so I don't want it to be too strong for them. So I'll apply it only to those, and we might just go around, you know, because we haven't fertilized anything. So I think we're gonna do it to the tomatoes, and then maybe to some of these zucchini plants, and maybe the pumpkin for sure, because that thing needs a lot. Maybe even the cucumbers and watermelon. Alright, got those all fertilized. Now, of course, we gotta water it all down. We got a little bit of extra, so we're gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna put that on the squash and zucchini. They were, I'm sure they took a bunch of the nutrients out of the soil while they were, you know, growing all those massive zucchinis and squash. So we're gonna do that zucchini right there, the one that just made the giant thing. We'll do the pumpkin somewhere around there. I don't even know where it is. Maybe a little bit on the zucchini back there, and the squash right here. Alright, I don't know if I applied that right. It's pretty hard to even get down to the soil there, but I'm sure that stuff will sink into the roots, and the plants will appreciate it greatly. Before we wrap up, let's figure out what to do with all of these pests on the cucumbers here. They're not on this side. I've just been noticing how many of these cucumbers we're gonna get. Like, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're just everywhere, and apparently they get massive. So I don't think we're gonna let them get too big, because there's just so many of them. But that's the Armenian variety, by the way, right there. So yeah, and this thing is poking its head up. All right, here's our harvest for today, and here's some of the ripe bananas. They're turning brown quick, so I think I'm gonna fry them up or make some smoothies or something. But that thing is just so big, and so is this cucumber. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, let's make some soap. All right, we got some tire wheel cleaner, and made a little soapy, really watered down mixture here. Apparently it's like a tablespoon for every quart, so I just put in a few drops of it and really diluted it. So we're gonna spray this up. All right, let's spray this up. So I don't know what this is gonna do to the plant. I'm hoping it's not gonna do too much. back here is where we really got a ton of these bugs. So I'm gonna soak them up. As long as it doesn't get into the root systems though, I don't think it'll do too much damage, but the thing is the bugs, they're way down here. So, didn't really want to ever have to use like any insecticide or anything, but this is pretty clean. It's just soap. No chemicals. Alright, it was getting really bad down there, mostly underneath the leaves, so I had to lift them up and spray underneath there. I did kind of soak it up quite a bit. Hope it doesn't harm the plant too much, although I think it would only really harm it if it got way into the root system. But that should make them leave. I think if I was like blasted with gallons of soap, I think I would probably get out of there. So hopefully they'll leave. Alright, sorry guys, that's gonna have to do it for today. This episode is just getting quite a bit too long. In the next episode, we'll just work on building the trellis. I wasn't able to get it built yet. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully it'll be a lot shorter than this.